this lesson we're going to be learning Dream On by Aerosmith. This song is going to utilize a little bit of finger picking and a little bit of picking with the pick. So we'll start with the intro that is a finger picking technique. We're going to start by putting our second finger on the 5th fret of the G string, our third finger on the 6th fret of the B string, and our first finger on the 4th fret of the high E string. And I'm picking with these two fingers, my first and second finger, I'm picking the high E and B string and plucking the G string with my thumb. So just back and forth. So it starts with the high E and B string. It does that picking pattern throughout. Okay, so that's the first chord. Do that twice. Then you go to this, basically a C minor chord. So first finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string, second finger on the 4th fret of the B string, and third finger on the 5th fret of the G string. Same pick pattern. Then we're just going to swap the first and second fingers. So first finger is going to go up to the 3rd fret of the B string, second finger is going to go down to the 4th fret of the high E string. Then on the last part of this phrase, we're just going to shift these two fingers back. It's kind of a stretch. So you're going to shift them back to the 2nd and 3rd fret. If you can't make that stretch, you can put your pinky on the 5th fret here. So far we have. Or you could do. With your pinky there on the 5th fret of the G string. Okay, so that's kind of the first part. The next part of the intro starts with the same chord we started with. Then we're going to shift up and put our first finger on the 5th fret of the G string, our second finger on the 6th fret of the E string, and our pinky on the 8th fret of the B string. It's kind of a weird finger combination there. After that, we're going to slide up, put our first finger on the 8th fret of the high E string, our second finger on the 9th fret of the B string, and our third finger on the 10th fret of the D string. So that's. Then you let that one ring out. Okay, so whole first part of the intro. Okay, so now we're going to go to the second part. It starts the same way. We go through these 4 chords. On the second part of the second half of the intro, start with our original chord, then you just put your pinky down on the 6th fret of the high E string. Then we're going to shift up, first finger on the 5th fret of the G string, second finger on the 6th fret of the B string, pinky on the 8th fret of the high E string. Okay, so that goes. Then we have kind of a little lead part here. We're going to do a double stop on the 6th fret, high E and B string. I'm just using my first finger and barring it. You can use your third finger. Then I go back to 4th fret, high E string, 6th fret, B string. And then back to the 6th fret. Then we go up to here. 8th fret, high E string, 9th fret, B string. We hit that twice, so. Then 8th fret double stop on the high E and B string. Back to the 8th fret to 6th fret. Okay, so that whole part goes. Let's see. Okay, now we're to our okay, that part sounds harder than it is, really. So we got the, and if you can, you might want to pick up your pick for this part. You can finger pick it as well. It's going to go 6th fret on the G string with our 2nd finger to the 5th fret of the G string with our 1st finger. So we do that 4 times. On the 5th time, we have our little run. So the first part is, we're going to pull off from the 6th fret to the 5th fret and slide back to the 3rd fret. And then hammer back up to the 5th and 6th fret. Then we're going to go 5th fret B string, 6th fret B string, hammer on, and a slide up to the 8th fret. Then 6th fret to 8th fret, hammer on, and slide to the 9th fret. Then 8th fret, hammer on the 9th fret, and slide up to the 11th fret. So we got then we start our hammer on and pull offs down. So we start 9th fret, we're going to hammer on and pull off of the 11th fret. Then 8th fret to 9th fret. Then 6th fret to 8th fret. 4th fret to 6th fret. 2nd fret, 1st fret. Slide all the way up to the 13th fret B string. All on the B string. So the whole thing together slow. Okay, and then that concludes our intro. So the verse part is very similar to the intro. The verse is the first half of the intro. That part. And we repeat that 4 times. Now on the 5th time, it does something a little different. First chord's the same. And we're going to go to this chord, where we're going to put our pinky on the 5th fret of the B string and our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the G string and our 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Same pick pattern, so we're going. Then back to our first chord. Then the last chord is 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string, pinky on the 6th fret of the B string, and our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the G string. Kind of dissonant sounding chords. Then we go into our you kind of build that a little bit. 6th fret to 5th fret G string. Then we're into our chorus, which is just a just power chords. It's going to be an F to an E flat to a D flat back to an E flat. So 10th fret, A string is our root. 10th fret power chord. So you kind of get that slide in there when you go back. Does that once, then it does this other guitar riff. And that's just 5th fret, G string, and then 4 4 hits on the 3rd fret of the D string. Back to the 5th fret once, and then 5th fret of the D string. Then 6th fret, and then 3rd fret G string. So real slow. Now we're back to that part. Okay, then there's a little transition between the chorus and the second verse. It's the same as it's the verse material. This thing again. But it's more like the second half of the intro. Then we go. So the second half of the intro. Now during that part, about right here, there's a little overdubbed guitar that goes, little lead part, and all he's doing is walking up, kind of combining an F minor and F blues scale. So it goes 1st fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret on the E string, then 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, A string, then 1st fret G string to 3rd fret D string. Okay, and that's pretty much it for that little transition. Then we go to another verse. The second verse just does that thing 4 times. It doesn't do that weird 5th time thing with those different chords. It's just this 4 times. Okay, then it goes back into a chorus. Then we come up on the little guitar solo. And it's going to use, I'm going to go back to finger picking on this. It's going to use the same chords that we have in the second half of that intro. Which we're going to arpeggiate all of them. So we're going to start with the 5th fret. This is the first chord of the song. 5th fret. I'm going to do that twice. Then I'm going to put my pinky down and do it 3 times. Then I'm going to switch up to that chord. And then slide to the 13th fret of the high E string. So okay, and then it does. This is just a little combo between the 8th fret high E string and 6th fret B string. That's just a little half bend to that note. Little weird little lick in there. Then it's going to repeat that thing we did before. Then we do. Same notes. 8th fret high E string, 6th fret B string. Then we go back to our chorus. That lick in there. So we're going to do this thing only 2 times. Then we're going to go to this lick. It's 2 hits. It's based out of C pentatonic minor because the chord underneath is a C chord. So it's 2 hits on the 8th fret of the G string and then 2 hits on the 10th fret of the D string. Then we go back 10th fret G string to 8th fret G string. Back to the 10th fret of the D string. Back to the 8th fret. Bend on the 10th fret. Then we go bar the 8th fret, hit the high E string, B string, 11th fret with our pinky, back to the 8th fret. Just climb back down. That's the end. So it's okay, that's the first lick. Okay, so after the lick, the first lick, we're gonna go, it's gonna change a little bit. We're gonna go to a B flat and do this climb up to C. These are all power chords. B flat, C, C sharp, D sharp, and then we have our second lick. Pretty much straight down the F blues scale. But we're going to start with this bend right here on the 16th fret of the B string. 4 bends, and you can give it some vibrato at the top. Then the 5th one, and then so it's bend on the 16th and then a normal 16. Then 13, 15 on the G string, 13 on the G string, 15 on the G string, 13 on the G string, down the blues scale. It just goes right down the scale. Okay, and then we do the and there's one more lick. Okay, that is gonna start right here on the 8th fret of the A string with your 3rd finger. We're gonna pull off to the 6th fret and land on the 8th fret of the E string. And then climb back up. Then we're going to hit the 6th fret of the D string. Then the second part, you start on the 8th fret again. Then we're going to go up or down on the strings. 8th fret, pull off to the 6th fret. So we got we're going to slide to the 10th fret, hit the 8th fret G string, and then we hit the 10th fret again. Two hits right there on the 9th fret of the B string. And then we go back to the 10th fret of the G string, and then we do this. So we're kind of bending it, each bend a little higher until we hit the right note. So real slow. Whoops, sorry, it's hard to do slow. Okay, and then that's it for those licks there. Then it goes back and does another B flat to C, C sharp, D sharp, and then it goes to F. It's a longer climb. F to G sharp, A sharp or B flat, and then we're gonna do the You could hang on the C. Or you could do. Then we're going to go to one more chorus. Then we're going to go back to this. And then it ends, the drums crash out, and then it just keeps doing this. And all you got to do is the same thing. You're just going to add your pinky on the 8th fret of the B string right there to play a G. It just kind of fades out on that. So that's it for Dream On.
Video guitar lessons right on your iPhone. It's free. The Guitar Song Lesson app from Center Stage.